Hey guys, Scott here. It is no secret that the Walking Dead chapter is being pretty badly received by most people for a number of different reasons, whether it be just balancing or bugs or just connection issues or stability or stuttering. Just that there's so many things wrong with this chapter. It is one of the worst they've done in a very long time. I made a video yesterday about the amount of broken shit in the chapter, and a lot of other content creators have gone over that stuff as well, but that's not really what I want to focus on in this video. This video, I want to focus on the things that make this chapter just embarrassing. It is such a lazy chapter, and behavior already is kind of lazy. I mean, let's just be real. They don't do as much work as a lot of super reputable devs. They have bugs that have been in the game for years. They are very slow to fix things. They're not the greatest dev company. I think they're really wonderful people and all that stuff, but in terms of like actually being developers, they are, in my opinion, a little lazy. I'm sorry if that comes off mean. I'm not trying to be, but the results kind of just speak for themselves. But this chapter is just next level laziness. There are so many things in this chapter that are just embarrassing. And in fact, I think they are legitimately embarrassed. Let me go over the first thing I want to talk about, where I can actually kind of prove that they're embarrassed about this. The new map. The new map, The Fallen Refuge. First of all, I don't think the developers even know if they wanted this to be a map or not. On the actual roadmap for this chapter, there was no map listed, so we assume we weren't getting a map. But then on the PTB, we had a patch note line that said, Gameplay Area Expansion, Fallen Refuge. More space to chase survivors or loot the killer. A small reference to a narrative universe where the dead roam the world has been added. So this was kind of a weird way to word that. That's not a new realm. That's not a new map. Gameplay Area Expansion, those words have never actually been used before. So on Reddit, they clarified, just wanted to clarify, it's not intended to be a new map, but rather a new tile as a nod to fans of The Walking Dead when playing as Rick or Michonne. Then there were starting to be rumors about that it would only appear if you were playing one of the new characters, and that sparked some controversy that it's like a weird pay-to-win tile or something like that. I think that's kind of a weird argument to make, but it did get addressed, and Behavior said, we wanted to clarify the comment above. The new tile will spawn randomly as a normal tile spawn. It does not require a survivor to be in the trial. We apologize for the confusion. So you didn't have to be Rick or Michonne for that tile to spawn. Okay, fine. So we're getting a new tile that can randomly spawn in the Withered Isle realm that is related to The Walking Dead. And that's how it was. And then randomly, a couple of days later, they just tweeted, The Fallen Refuge is a new map in the Withered Isle realm that introduces a new Walking Dead tile. So now it is a new map, despite the fact that there was no planned map, and it was like clearly a placeholder on the PTB. Like, I played it on the PTB, and I was telling everybody, guys, this is not a new map. Obviously, look at it. It's diarrhea. It's clearly just a testing ground for this new tile. There's nothing else on it. It's just trees and rocks and then the new tile. This is clearly where the devs on the PTB and stuff like that are testing the tile to make sure everything is loading in properly and it's going to spawn in properly on the actual maps. So none of us actually thought that this was going to be a new map because A, they told us specifically that it's not a new map, it's a new tile. Word for word, they said this is not a new map. So we just assumed it's not going to be a new map, but then they just randomly said, oh, I know, actually it is a new map. And they changed their wording. On the PTB, it said Gameplay Area Expansion, Fallen Refuge. But on the actual live patch notes, it says Realm Expansion, Fallen Refuge, a new map in the Withered Island realm that introduces a special Walking Dead tile. So they have flip-flopped like 3 separate times in just a short span of time about whether or not this is an actual map or this is a tile on the map. Now, I can only postulate as to what the fuck was going on here. In my opinion, this was just a testing area for the new tile that was spawning, because it's terrible. The map, the green filter burns your retinas. It looks so bad. There's nothing on it except the new tile. There's no way this is a new map. So I just assumed that I trusted the developers when what they said. It's just a new tile. But then they completely flip-flopped, and now they're claiming it is an actual map. But again, this conflicts a 4th time because they have gone on record saying future new maps or future new releases are going to have this new map queue. For the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter, we had this new map queue system, so you can always encounter the new map. And the director of the game Matthew said you'll be able to go exclusively to the new map, and we're going to be incorporating that into every upcoming map in the future also. So whenever a new map is added to the game, there will be a separate queue for it. Except there's no separate queue for this. Reinforcing again, this is not actually a new map that they planned. They just sort of diarrheaed out a testing zone, and they're actually having the balls to call it a new map, which is just fucking lazy. That is insultingly lazy. The mixed wording over and over again from various different sources, and just the objective fact of how fucking terrible that map is just a testament to how lazy this entire aspect of the game was. And that's just the map itself. There are also a bunch of like aesthetic issues with the chapter too, which is embarrassing because this is a huge license that you don't want to mess up stuff, you know, involving a huge license because it's insulting to the fans, the license itself and all that. But there is... Michonne's voice actress has a line where you can hear the voice director in the background saying like, oh yeah, that was a good take. Like literally just straight out of old Bethesda jank.
Heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again.
It's so embarrassing. And that's not even considering how terrible, no offense to the voice actresses or actors, it's just how bad the actual voice acting is. And you know what? It's not even that a standalone that the voices are bad, because I think they're mostly fine, a little strange. Rick's are kind of weird, but it's mostly okay. It's the fact that it's half the actual actors, like it's half actually Andrew Lincoln and Norman Reedus, and then the other half is just random people that they just hired, I guess, or something. It's just such a weird split between, like, in the lobby, you're like, oh shit, that's Andrew Lincoln, that's actually Rick, cool. You go to a generator and, you know, Daryl's there and he's talking to Daryl. You're like, oh shit, this is so sick. But then you actually get injured or hooked or any other sounds in the game. You know, 95% of the sounds you actually hear when you're playing are not the little cute lines that they say to each other. They're the actual injured sounds or the hook sounds or the plague sick sounds or just any other sounds in the game. So 95% of the shit you hear is not actually the actors. It's just some random person not even trying to sound like them. That's the worst part. I would have preferred if they didn't get Andrew Lincoln and they didn't get Norman Reedus and they just got people to voice act and try to sound similar to them. But what we have now is this weird mix of the actual authentic actors 5% of the time, and then 95% of the time, it's just some random shit that doesn't sound anything like them. So the just disparity is so off-putting. And it's so, like, it seems like they just accidentally left placeholders in, but they have gone on record saying, no, this is how it's supposed to be, which is just embarrassing. Again, it's just so bad, man. Normally, I don't care about, like, aesthetics and stuff like that. I really don't care about the stuff. I said I will play a killer that is an untextured cube. I don't care. But it's so off-putting when there's the actual voices and then half of it is just not the actual voices. Just pick one. Pick all of the actual voices or none of them. I think both of those are far more acceptable. And look, I get that probably there is some clause that says, for some reason, Andrew Lincoln is not allowed to scream for your game. Whatever. I'm sure there's some reason and behavior doesn't want to go, yeah, Andrew Lincoln wouldn't scream for us. Fuck that guy. Because that's terrible for their branding. Not going to do that. So I'm sure this is not all on them. I really do believe that this is the case. And in fact, I've heard rumors before that, like with Nicolas Cage, he kind of had the same rule where he wasn't like required to scream or make the injured sounds or stuff. He just did it because he's Nicolas Cage and he's fucking awesome. So that is possibly what's going on there. But again, if that is the case, then I think they just shouldn't have done it. Don't use Andrew Lincoln or Norman Reedus. Just hire a voice actor that can sound kind of like them and just make them consistent throughout the entire thing. That would be so much of a better take than what they've actually done here. It's just so bad. And then there's just the other thing, just the horrible balance, the clown fucking atrocity. Everything is bugged. I'm having stuttering. There's lag performance issues. There are so many exploits right now involving bugs and abusing the bugs. The no chase bug. You know, survivors are getting infinites. Pig is killing people without contest because the traps can't be stopped. There are bugs like abusing Streetwise. Streetwise, you can give yourself infinite charges of toolboxes and make it. Just here, look at this clip I found on Reddit.
Here I secure a Commodious toolbox, pick it up and drop it, reapplying Streetwise to it 10 times. In my estimation, giving this toolbox roughly 11,000 charges.
It's ridiculous. The whole game is just fucking, it's just so bad right now. I actually, like, I streamed for like 3 hours and I just stopped because I just didn't want to play anymore. I was having so little fun with the game that I actually just stopped playing. Which I haven't had that in a very long time. Usually when I stop streaming because I'm just done with the stream, but I actually just ended my stream because I just physically could not handle playing the game anymore. I am just so frustrated with it right now. It's just in such a terrible spot. And the worst part about it is just how it's lazy. It's just so lazy from a company that's already lazy. That's the most annoying part. They had such a big license here and they just half-assed fucking everything. Everything is so half-assed and lazy that it's just embarrassing. Except Michonne's model. Michonne's model is so good that I feel like they outsourced it to a different company or something. That shit is flawless. But everything else, just pathetic.